it looks, oh, it's empty. Oh man, this place looks empty.
That's great, midweek.
Yeah. All right, we are finally back at Durhamtown. We're actually at the same cabin we were at last year, Hawkeye. So right now it's just me and Doug, cameraman. DirtGeartv, he's running a bit late. He's gonna be here at like 5 o'clock, which is, I think that's when we have to stop riding. So for now, it's just me and Doug. So today is gonna be, we're just gonna be on the dirt bikes. And I wanna show Doug around this place. I wanna check out the GP track and turbo track again. So today's just gonna be dirt bikes while we wait for DirtGeartv to get here, as well as all of his friends. Yeah, we were able to sneak on the little CR125, little ATV thing. We were able to get the front end of the CBR 1000 up and sneak that underneath it. We just had to take the front tires off. We got both my CRF 230 dirt bike as well as the electric, and we also brought the 2-stroke triple yard cart. I've been dying to make another video of this thing. I just couldn't figure out where to take it. So I'm really curious to see what this thing will do at the drag strip. If this thing has enough traction, I feel like this is gonna be unstoppable. As long as the front tires stay on the ground and I can actually steer this thing's gonna be unstoppable at the drag strip. So, me and Doug did a little exploring on the dirt bikes. I showed him the GP track and the turbo track, and we also hit up some trails. Now, this is actually the first time I've ever ridden the dirt bike off-road, and I gotta say, this thing is a lot of fun, but man, the suspension kind of sucks on this thing, which we kind of knew that. We kind of knew the suspension was gonna suck on this. I felt pretty much every single little bump on those trails. So, this thing works great. I wanted to take the cover off to make sure the battery's not super heating up. The controller actually is pretty hot. The aluminum plate, which is actually the heat sink of the controller, is pretty hot. So, yeah, that's not really good. Also, it's nice and rattling around in there. So we gotta, you know, put some more zip ties in there, clamp it to the frame, possibly put more stuffing in there. Keep it from rattling around too much. But the battery is a little bit warm, but the controller's mainly hot. So we'll deal with that and then put the cover back on. This thing's working great. It's a lot of fun. It's really nice not having to worry about gears or a clutch or anything like that. So that's fun. One thing that sucks on this is the suspension, which we knew. We knew the suspension would suck, but I wasn't. The front of this is like rock solid. I feel every single bump on the trail, all the whoops, all the things. I just jostling me around. So I'm kind of hoping we can adjust the suspension a little bit to soften it up a lot more, because man, do I just feel every single bump on these trails. And but yeah, so far this thing's working great, and I just want to tune the suspension, try to get it a little bit better. So now later on in the day, DirtGear showed up, as well as Alex from the YouTube channel Alex Dombi, as well as all of DirtGear's friends. But by the time they showed up, it was a little too late to ride, so we kind of just hung out by the campfire, cooked some burgers. But the next morning, we all got up, got ready, and headed out to the turbo track. Now, I have been improving and tuning this project since the last time I had it here. I changed the gearing to be a lot faster. I put a sprocket on the jack shaft that is 11 teeth smaller than the sprocket that was on there previously. So this thing should be a lot faster, and I've also been tuning the suspension to be a lot better for jumping and going around the corners. this thing is, the gearing's so much better. Steering's a lot better. It's not as, you know, hand over hand.
Yep.
I still just want to, I don't think I can change the handling. It's just in the corners, it just leans.
But you know what? It's fast though in the corners.
It's fast.
Try, just in the corners, just like, bam! The car twists and went around. So I went with a beef or slave.
Back to the cabin.
Trying to go over Chris.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you? Good. Go ahead, jump in, I'll push it.
I keep leaving the lights on.
Okay.
And I don't know if this charger doesn't really work that
Well, if your battery's gonna die, do it like at the campsite.
Yeah, what the
Right.
heck?
Yeah. Where's the battery?
Is it normally that hard to turn over? Shouldn't be.
It seems pretty. It's solid.
Should we try?
Hit the go. Yeah. Let me try one
And
thing.
look at how dim my lights go.
And
Try
there's
the
a
starter
boost.
motor.
And I was wondering the same thing as the starter motor.
Yeah.
All right, it is the next day, and unfortunately, something happened with this engine that we didn't capture on film. All my batteries were dying, so we couldn't really film it. Basically, what happened on the very end of the day, we were actually headed back here from drag racing, and right up there, I stopped to look at something, and then when I tried to accelerate again, I didn't give it enough throttle. I ended up killing the engine like I always do, you know, trying to accelerate in the high range. But I couldn't start the engine back up. You could hear the starter motor clicking in. You could hear it trying, but it's not turning over. So we ended up pushing it back to here, and we thought the battery was dead. So we jumped the battery, and still the starter motor would just not turn this thing over. So I'm like, I'm hoping I didn't damage this engine. So I actually took this cover off, which gives me access to the crankshaft, and I put a socket on the crankshaft, and I could not turn this engine over. This engine was seized, unfortunately. We thought that I possibly hydrolocked it, so we took all the spark plugs out to make sure that there's no water, oil, or gas in the cylinders, and there wasn't, but we did notice that one spark plug had a little bit of oil on it, and we also noticed that this engine was just very hot. So we let the engine cool down with the spark plugs out, and then after about 40 minutes it would turn over. So we put the spark plugs back in, and it fired right up. I think what happened is I seized the engine from overheating. What I was doing yesterday was I was on the GP track, just running the crap out of this engine, just, you know, really high in the RPMs. And then as soon as I was coming in to stop, I would immediately shut the engine off, shut the fan off, and I was doing that multiple times within an hour and a half. And then we went over to drag racing, and I was drag racing this thing, and I would immediately pull around and shut the engine off. I think that it overheated the engine, and possibly the pistons or piston rings just overexpanded and just seized inside the cylinders, and it just needed to cool down and contract to be able to work again. So it fires up now, but I'm hoping I didn't damage the cylinder walls or the pistons or anything. So today I'm gonna take it. I don't want to, I'm still riding this thing, but I don't want to blow this engine up just yet. So I'm gonna try and take it easy. And hopefully I didn't score any of the cylinder walls. Hopefully the piston rings are fine. But yeah, I did seize this engine from overheating it yesterday. So that's not good.
Not a good idea.
So this is the only brake, right?
Yep. Nice.
So if you put it on the lower wheelie bar setting,
What do you think of it?
Oh, that is the most fun. I thought for sure I was gonna fly off of it multiple times.
Yeah.
The wheelie bars work.
Yes, they did. The first time I hit the wheelie bar, I was like, oh yeah. I thought for sure I was going off.
yeah.
Oh.
They stayed on.